impromptu Raw review. I don't know if you can call it that. I'm giving you this review now because I've got stuff to do tomorrow. Raw was an interesting show tonight. Let's just jump straight into it. Definitely a more enjoyable show. Now, I will admit I am not a Roman fan at all. So I will come out and say right from the get-go that I honestly would say that Raw is better without him, but that might not be the reason for why it was better this week. I don't know. Maybe that's just an opinion. Because I feel like Raw went really fast today, man. It went extremely fast, extremely quick for me, which, to tell you the truth, it's been a long time since a Raw went like that, given the fact that most of the time, if we're being honest, it just drags. Basically, Raw starts off with Kurt Angle in the ring, and well, why wouldn't it? The guy made his return after 11 years last night at TLC, and that in itself was a crazy, bloody pay-per-view card. I've never quite seen anything like it. He then proceeds to name the Survivor Series matches we're going to expect to see for the card, and actually pretty much a lot of the cards already announced already. There's going to be a 5-on-5 Raw Smackdown elimination match, men's match, and a 5-on-5 Raw Smackdown elimination women's match as well. Miz will go one-on-one with Baron Corbin. Jinder, it's official, guys. Jinder is actually going one-on-one with Lesnar. More on that later. And Natalya will be going one-on-one with Alexa Bliss. So you'd expect them to build towards those storylines and not do much else, right? I'm happy to say it was wrong. But after Kurt Angle said that, we basically get the Miz and the Bar, along with Curtis Axel, I do believe, come out and interrupt. The Shield minus Roman Reigns come out to make the save. Kurt Angle then proceeds to book a 6-man tag team match for, well, I thought for later on tonight, but for right now, essentially. For right now, he said it's going to be Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, along with someone who was at TLC last night. And yes, AJ Styles. I thought he was going to put himself in the match again, foolishly enough. I don't know why. But yeah, AJ Styles is back at Raw for one more night apparently, which was pretty damn sweet, if I do say so myself. We then have a tag team match, a 6-man tag team match. The pacing that was quite frantic. You honestly have to give it to AJ, how good that man is, and how honestly unfazed, in my opinion, he seemed, just purely based off the fact that he wrestled in South America, flew back from South America, and then fucking wrestles another match tonight after wrestling at TLC. And look at me, I can barely keep my eyes open to bring you this Raw review. Goodness gracious me, Lord Almighty, what has this world come to? So basically, that match is, I believe, match of the night. I don't know whether I'm being overly zealous when I say that, but I could well be. I mean, maybe, but I thought it was a pretty damn good match. The match itself ends when AJ Styles hits a phenomenal forearm, gets the pin. It was Cesaro that took the pin, so at least it weren't The Miz, because I guess he needs to look strong for like the Baron Corbin match. Kane then comes out and steps in the ring with all 3 men, chucks AJ Styles right out the ring, proceeds to try and take out the remaining members of the Shield, holds his own, to be fair, until the rest of the heels jump in the ring and join in the beatdown. They beat down Dean Ambrose, and Kane proceeds to chokeslam Seth Rollins. And that is pretty much the last we've seen of that. And I will tell you guys now, I am a huge fan of this Kane booking. absolutely 100%. It wasn't done there, I should say. Next, we come back, and Kane's still in the ring. He goes on to cut a promo about what he done to Braun Strowman. He heard many things. He wanted to see Braun Strowman, what he's really like, face to face. Wasn't impressed that he is Raw's only true monster among men. When he looked in Strowman's eyes as he was in that garbage truck, Jesus Christ, man. I want to sound menacing, but when I just say something like that, it sounds silly because it somewhat is. But yeah, he said he saw fear in Strowman's eyes. Kane now wants competition, or else. And Finn Balor answers the challenge. I don't agree with this. I have no problem, first and foremost, I have no problem with Kane getting booked like a monster again. Absolutely zero problem. But if you're going to book it against someone else other than Finn Balor. They basically did your classic David versus Goliath thing here. You know, Finn going for the legs, trying to chop the big man down to side. He done beat that Balor boy, basically. Catched him off of a coup de grace. 1 chokeslam, 2 chokeslam, 3 chokeslam. I suppose a chokeslam each for each second of the pin. Kane picks up the win, which was, as I say, amazing. I think I'm one of the few people on the internet that isn't saying, oh, Kane's 50, blah, 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 blah. But we're all okay. Look, I like Goldberg, but Kane's 50. But we're okay with Goldberg coming back and fucking winning a Universal title. But hell, we booked Kane to be a little bit strong, to look a little bit strong, you know, on probably his like last decent run with the company. And oh my God, Kane just got put over Finn Balor. Well, I agree that it shouldn't have been Finn. Like, I'm happy that Kane's getting booked strong again. I haven't seen Kane booked this strongly since late 2011, perhaps, when he came back with a mask on for the first time in years. Up next, after the break, we have a backstage segment with Shane McMahon and Kurt Angle. They basically reminisce, talk about old times. Eventually, Kurt Angle says he wants Shane. Wants AJ Styles over on Raw permanently. Shane says that's not going to happen. And basically, they trash talk about, excuse me, they trash talk about which team they believe is going to win the respective Elimination Chamber match. Obvious Elimination Survivor Series match. Sorry. Dude, I don't know, man. A few times during this show, I felt like WWE cut a bit close to the bone. Particularly in this promo where Kurt was like lining out the list of Raw talent. Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins, all them kind of guys. And then he was comparing it to, like, he said basically, after AJ Styles, who have you got? Nakamura, Bobby Roode, and Dolph Ziggler. And it was just like, damn. You know, you don't really think about it on those terms. But, you know, would Bobby Roode compare to Brock Lesnar? Would Bobby Roode compare to even a Seth Rollins? I'm not sure. Would Nakamura, judging by how he's been booked, compare to a Seth Rollins or a Dean Ambrose? I'm not sure. Up next, and I must prelude to say, I do like Emma, but I feel like this match was uncalled for. Emma and Asuka had a rematch again. What is the point of this match? Why? Question mark. Asuka needs better. And quite frankly, even though I didn't write in the notes at the time, so does Emma. Asuka does the hip attack at one point. Emma essentially puts Asuka right as the apron. The finish came in the match when Emma went for like a roll up and Asuka counters it into the Asuka lock. Emma taps out. Right. To be fair, and I'm going to be honest with you, it was a pretty goddamn decent match, but is it really worth the time that they put into it? Man, just have Asuka win and dominate first of all at TLC. Next up, we have Alexa Bliss making her way out to the ring in a segment that I can only describe as not great. Not great. and Mickie James saved it. Bliss comes out and says, listen, I had a strong showing last night, but I'm not lauded like Finn Balor or AJ Styles. And eventually she says to the fans, you need to start chanting, you deserve it. And all of this kind of stuff. And I believe they started to shout back, shut the fuck up, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I'm wrong. Alexa Bliss loses the crowd pretty quickly on that one. Out comes Mickie James, who proceeds to lay out Bliss with a Mickey DDT. And dude, I'm okay with this match. Hell, I would actually say throw a spanner in the works and have Mickie win it. If she loses it to Asuka in like December or January, then fair play. Have Mickie turn heel and try and be a foil for Asuka for a month after that, before Asuka fights someone like Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. Why the hell not? I want Mickie James to be champion one more time. I'll be completely honest. Backstage, we see Kurt Angle with Bayley and Sasha Banks. They begin to talk about who wants to be like captain for the Raw Women's match. Who wants to be captain of the Raw Women's team for the Raw Women's match with Smackdown. And Alicia Fox, for whatever reason, burst in. And she apparently wants to be captain, which even now I have no idea why. But you know what? I'm with it. I hope Alicia Fox wins. I do. I hope Alicia Fox is the captain, because you know what? It's something different. It's something new. Lord, I might be, stupid for saying this, but Bayley's not going nowhere. She's like messed up since she got called up. Sasha Banks couldn't be any more colder if she tried, so give it to Foxy. Give her the ball. Let's see how far she can run with it. Why not? Elias is in the ring next, and basically does his normal stick. Who wants to walk with Elias? This Jason Jordan stuff needs to stop. Jordan eventually comes out and interrupts him. He hit him over the head with a guitar. If you didn't see that coming a mile away, then I don't know what for. Pretty much the worst I have seen in terms of a random match put in a random place. Hell, it was even more random last night at the pay-per-view, actually. So I take it back. Next, we get, I say Brock Lesnar, but it was more Paul Heyman. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out, and Heyman just cuts a promo that absolutely, positively, and I'm being completely honest with you, absolutely, positively destroys. And when I say destroys, I mean destroys bloody Jinder Mahal. To be fair, he only says what we're all thinking. We think of guys like Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, Bruno Sammartino, The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker. He didn't say all these names, but you get the gist. All of those are champions. You're just a champion that pretty much was shoehorned in after the Superstar Shake-Up when Shane and Daniel Bryan realised they got shafted. And you know what? As happy, and I will say this over and over again, as happy as I was/am for Jinder Mahal being the champion, there comes a point where like your happiness for someone supersedes I should say how you feel about the actual championship supersedes the general happiness you have for someone. It's pointless. Heyman says you've unleashed the beast. You don't know what you've got yourself into. Basically, behind all that bravado and talking, Brock's going to kill you. You're taking a trip to Suplex City is essentially the name of the game. Brock then looks at the camera, smiles, walks out. Easiest money, well, maybe not the easiest money he's ever made, but certainly some of the easiest money he's ever made. But Heyman just highlighted everything we think in that promo. And like I said, some of these promos tonight probably went a bit too close to the bone, like not in a bad way, because semi-shoot promos are probably at their best. Well, when they are indeed, promos are at their best when they are semi-shoot promos, and essentially put the comments along with AJ Styles and SmackDown earlier on, now combined with this, like it makes for real shit, man. And I enjoy it. You know, just don't drag me down to earth with stupid. I like Elias, but even like Elias being wasted on Jason Jordan, um, I don't appreciate it. But up next, after that, we did have the women's triple threat to determine the number one contender. No, the captain. I'm on. See, this is the thing. I'm not used to good Raws. I'm on literally on autopilot here. I've got my notes in front of me that gives me a brief summary of what happened. That's why you notice me looking down at the screen a little bit every now and then rather than in the camera. But god damn it, if I am not on autopilot for your bog standard Raw women's matches. But this match was actually quite fun, and for the most part, Alicia Fox looked like an equal to both Sasha Banks and Bayley. For what it was worth, I didn't actually see the two women fight, Bayley and Sasha, fight a lot. I think any plans of a heel turn for Sasha is well and truly abandoned. But don't tell Vince McMahon that, because he'll probably reignite it next week just for Fox's sake, if you catch my drift. But no, Alicia Fox, whisper it quietly, actually won this match. Can you believe it? The end of the match comes when Foxy she gets the ring bell. I'm tired of playing this game, she says. Crazy. Foxy's crazy gimmick is probably the best crazy gimmick, if not better, than since AJ Lee, pretty much, in 2012. Bloody hell, that was really 5 years ago. Fuck me. How time flies. And yeah, Fox rings the bell. The referee says, obviously, you can't bloody end it. Bayley then attempts to go for the Bayley to Bayley on Sasha. Fox is standing behind her, mimicking exactly what Bayley's doing. And how, you know, when you can feel someone's watching you or someone's behind you, how Bayley didn't feel that and turn around, I don't know. It's stupid. But Fox then delivers a Bayley to belly to Bayley, arguably better than the real thing. Sasha, she goes for that scissors kick. Sasha Banks then gets her in the bank statement. And Alicia Fox, who quite smartly on WWE's, behalf, if you've been in a move as much as Alicia Fox has, you're eventually going to learn to get out of it. And that's exactly what Fox did here. She got out of it. She threw Bayley, who had returned to the ring by this point, into Sasha, gets the pin on Bayley, and captains the Raw women's team. We have a cruiserweight match. The 10-man tag team match, dude. I don't get this storyline whatsoever. It was a decent match for what it's worth. Like, although fucking poor old Rich Swann, I think it was at some point, did a suicide dive and almost completely over fucking shot it. Almost fucked himself up rapido, and almost damn near killed himself, which wasn't fucking fun. I don't know. I don't get how Enzo and all these guys are friends when he just slagged them off a couple of weeks ago. But in the end, Kalisto hits the Salida del Sol on Enzo for the win. And they're having another Cruiserweight Championship match on 205 Live. Don't ask me why. SmackDown Live just came to Raw. Baron Corbin, Becky Lynch, Big E, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Mojo Rawley for some reason. They went pounding through the Raw locker rooms and just went ham on all of them. Even the women. To be honest, the Raw women look weak AF because there was only 4 of them and there was 4 SmackDown women too, I believe. Maybe even 3. And they just had the Raw women, which was the only down point to this. It puts SmackDown Live over as the heels, which is a really interesting thing. Raw didn't look like they stood a chance until the Shield did. Well, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins at least tried to at least sneak attack SmackDown, tried to get some back. Seth dived onto quite a few of the SmackDown roster. That didn't work out though. They got their asses kicked. The SmackDown boys and girls then marched Kurt Angle back out into the ring. At which point Shane McMahon said to him, "You bring your gold medal, you bring what's left of your Raw roster, because at Survivor Series we're going to finish what we started, and that pretty much ended Raw. Pretty damn sweet show, if you ask me. Anyway, guys, if you have enjoyed this Raw review, don't forget to, well, quick Raw reactions, I'd say, just because I'm doing it, well, right now, quickly, just after Raw, pretty much. I really do want to give you guys something to chomp down on every Monday, well, every Tuesday morning, UK/Wednesday morning. But yeah, like I said, if you have enjoyed it, don't forget to leave a rate, comment, and subscribe. Stick around for some WWE 2K18 content later on today, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.